Hi, everyone. Welcome to the informational section for the PLE Summer Camp Orientation. So today I'll be going over some things clarifying what the summer camp is going to be about and some things introducing what the summer camp will do and how a youth teacher will teach during the summer camp. So the summer camp is going to be a new program outside of our normal classes. So that means our normal classes at 8:10 to 9 will not be affected by this change. However, if you do want to teach during the summer camp, you may sign up separately, and I'll show you guys how to do that and what further steps to take. The summer camp will run from 1 to 3 p.m. for 8 weeks, and I'll show you guys all the sign up later on. So here is basically the schedule for the summer camp. It will run starting from July 5th all the way to August 18th. And once again, it's going to be from 1 to 3 p.m. And so if you are available during any of those times, there will be a place to sign up for that. However, once again, this will not be replacing any of our old classes. So if you are not available from these times and these dates, you will not be kicked out of being a youth teacher. You still just have to be available during your normal teaching times. So as you can see below, there is a schedule down here, and it is broke down into days and also sessions. There are 3 sessions that teachers can teach from, and they're all 40-minute sessions. So they're basically going to be exactly like how you would normally teach in a class that is 40 minutes long. And once again, I'll show you guys how to use the resources like RazKids that you'll be needing to do during your teaching. And in this schedule, we're going to have classes from GK all the way up to G3. And if we have extra teachers, we may be able to have G4 to G5. And these classes are going to be English, and also we might be giving some math classes. Additionally, we are going to have special classes and a block for games. For example, these special classes can include anything from normal special classes we might have, like before we used to have debate and environmental science, but also some other classes like ballet, drawing, and etc. can be included. However, if you do want to host a special class, we need to get approval for it because you need to design a specific curriculum and specific instructions on how you'll teach your students during this class. However, we are allowed a lot of flexibility on this special class. So if you do want to have one, please email your description to oliviag@pleonline.org, and the information's on the screen. Additionally, we'll be providing you curriculum on how you'll be teaching these classes, and they'll be provided in a schedule, something like this. So when you are teaching a specific grade level, you'll refer back to this curriculum and you'll see, oh, I need to teach this today, and I need to teach this thing tomorrow. And as you can see here, these are all lessons found on RazKids, and I will be showing you how to access that and other information regarding that. So during a normal class, how this will be structured is you'll start off with an icebreaker, some introduction, and also setting some ground classroom rules. So those would include normal classroom rules like everyone must turn on their camera, and including you. We really hope that we can have a lot of participation, and to foster that, we do need everyone to turn on their cameras and show that they're there. Some of these students will be in person in this summer camp at the Philly location. So this might be a little different than usual, but however, still we need participation from our virtual peers as well. Additionally, for the topics and curriculum we assign you guys, they will only be acting as guidance for what you must teach. So you have a lot of freedom like usual, and giving more resources to the students, like providing them with a maybe grammar lesson regarding the Raz Kids book, a vocabulary lesson, maybe some practice problems, and etc. You can also host games like how we usually do with like Kahoot, Quizlet, and all that. And yeah, you can always use any online resource or previous paper textbook that you have used during your normal classes. As before, this is going to be like a normal 40-minute class, but the only difference is that we are going to have some in-person participants. So if you want to keep that in mind, you might want to do something that will help those kids stay active. For example, you might include maybe some in-person activities like, oh, talk to the person next to you about the book, or maybe get up out of your chairs and let's do like something fun. Additionally, as you can see below, Raz Kids is mandatory for ELA, and I'll show you guys how to log into that. And yeah, I guess I can show you guys that now. So we will be providing you a youth teacher instructions link. So for any of this information, you guys can always look back onto it if you forget. So here are some Raz Plus instructions. In these youth teacher instructions, there will be a link to Raz Plus, and it will look something like this. And here there will be a section to log in, and usually a really big question is whether teachers should log on through the member login or the kids login. And we really, I think it's the kids login that we want to use it through. And right now I automatically log in, so let me do this on an incognito tab. Okay, so if you guys have been teaching English in the past, might be able to automatically log into Raz Plus. But if you haven't before, you guys might need to follow these instructions. So once again, click on the kids login, not the member login. And then put in the teacher username of PLEIS 2022. And you will be brought to this homepage. And then depending on what grade level you or what curriculum you're assigned to teach, based on the Google Sheet will provide with that information, you will click on that corresponding level. So for example, if I was assigned to teach level G, that'll fall between level F through level H. And so I'll click on this. And then the student password for all of these is 2022. So you can put that in. And then you'll be brought into this page. So after, to actually look through the books, you will go hover over this reading icon, and there is a reading room. And in here, you can click on the labeled books and look through each of these for your book you want to teach. If you were, let's say, assigned an exact book, you can use Control F on your keyboard and search for that book. But yeah, we have a lot of options and a lot of books. So you guys could format your classes to be really different from any other youth teacher and have a lot of variety. So I do see a question in the chat that says, so in the summer camp, we just teach the way we do in normal classes. Yep, so we do teach normally. However, if you want, you can consider the fact that some of these kids are going to be in person in the actual camp in Philadelphia while we are still virtual. So you guys might be able to incorporate some in-person activities with them. For example, you can go like for your icebreaker and say, oh, maybe stand in a circle and everyone introduce your names in a circle and say one fun fact about yourself. So yeah, but you do teach normally, and you do provide the same amount of care and curriculum and all that you would provide in a normal class. So a little bit more about Raz Kids is once you go into the room and you get into this book, there are a few options. We don't want to use the listen option because we want the kids to read out loud themselves, and we want to help the kids read um, and learn from actual people, because the listening feature, I think, is like a bot reading. And if students are getting stuck reading, you would want to sound out the things yourself to showcase how an actual speaker would say some of these words. And you will start off by clicking the read button, and you'll be brought to the book. And in the book, you might notice that there are some words to know. So when you are formatting your curriculum, like the slides that have your icebreakers and your lesson, you might want to include these words and expand upon them through providing like making these vocabulary words, like expanding on the definition of them, some pictures of them, and them in a sentence and stuff like that. So yeah, you would just go through these books with your students, and once again, you'll ask them to read like how you do normally, but if they are struggling, you will one, fix whatever they're saying so that they don't make the same mistake again, and two, read out loud for them and really slowly so that they can understand and see how words are actually pronounced. In the past, we did have some problems with you teachers just speeding through their books. So we really hope that we can have it where everybody is teaching at a nice, slow pace that these students can understand. Remember, they're just in GK to G3. And although these students will mainly be from America because they are in the Philly summer program and in the Philly camp, we still want to teach slowly for them. And so you would do that all the way towards the end of the book. And as you can see in all of these books, there will be informational pictures, and you can really expand upon those during your lesson as well. You can go in depth on the picture, read these facts out loud, maybe do some research beforehand and say, oh, this caliper is this type of whatever, their lifespan is whatever, and stuff like that. That will be more engaging, and like you're not really just using the Raz Kids books as like a crutch and the main thing you're teaching, but you're really just using as like another resource. So preparation is a really big thing when teaching, and we will be providing you SSL hours and time that you can put on your volunteer time collection sheet for this. So yeah. So the more effort you put in, the more time you get to write. And this is the new PVSA year. So for all the time that you do get, this will all go towards your getting that award. And so yeah, most books will be really short, 15, 16 pages. So you do really want to expand upon that when you're teaching. And as you can see, there was a glossary of the vocab words that we found at the beginning, and you can use this glossary to help you when you're doing your vocab. And so when you do get to the end of a book, there is this question mark thing icon. Not all books will have this, but most will. And this will just lead to a short, simple little quiz on the book. In this quiz, and when you're doing this with your students, you would want them to read out the question and answers so they can still learn some English. But this is also going to test their like skills on if they understood the book, or their critical thinking skills and stuff like that. And so you would want to facilitate the students in completing this, but you don't want to like, if they do get something wrong, you you don't have to just tell them immediately. You can wait till you're done with the book, with the questions. And when you're going back through these questions, you can then let them know, hey, you got this wrong, or we got this wrong as a team. We don't want to like call out any students if they are having trouble. But we do want to go over any questions they did wrong and explain about them. But we want to probably wait to explain all that at the end when they're done with all their questions, to one, not make them nervous about getting questions wrong, and two, like not having them rely on you to get the correct answer. And also there is this review button right here. So if you guys want to like look through the books during your time going through the quiz, that would be helpful. All right, so that's mainly about RAS Kids, but once again, this is going to be basically like how you teach normally during summer camp. Not summer camp, during your normal classes. So the summer camp will be using the same resources and the same curriculums and things like that. All right, on to management. So we will have a few people in our management team, and this will basically mimic how our normal sessions are managed. You might see some familiar names like a daily manager and block manager. So like normal, a daily manager is the person who makes sure that the whole day is running smoothly. They host the meeting, and they do things like record keeping and making sure that the entire session and entire class is going okay. So they write the contact information of everyone, and I think they do the attendance of everyone. However, and then they also make sure that everyone's in the right place like they normally do when everyone is virtually. However, some things might change with the in-person aspect. So yeah. Block managers are like usual assigned to each block, and like before, they must check in to each class to make sure teachers are present and set up. And they are also responsible for contacting missing teachers and doing record keeping. And so like before, block managers should work with daily managers, and they should act like a team, because this is a management team. And so that would be communication. And that is a really, really important point. We had a bunch of issues before where daily managers and block managers were not working smoothly together, and they weren't properly communicating. So we hope that through this summer camp, we'll be able to strengthen our communication skills and make sure that we are really telling each other things that go wrong, and that we're not afraid to let each other know, hey, we need to fix this issue right away. And to be a little stern about it too, if we are seeing that things are not going the way that they should be. These students are all in this in-person summer camp, and that aspect will mean that it's going to be a little like more severe than like virtually, where everyone is on their own computers and stuff. So we want to make sure we are on our best behaviors and that we are making sure that everything is going right on time. And so block managers and daily managers communicate. Oh, and additionally, like before, daily managers, I think, will be assigned host, and then block managers will be assigned co-host. So using those features, like muting people, assigning people to rooms and all of that, you'll be able to effectively get things done. And yes, you should be using those features. Block managers shouldn't just be sitting back and on the side waiting for a daily manager to do stuff. They should be taking responsibility and using their co-host features, assigning people to rooms, asking people to turn on their cameras, private messaging people for information and other stuff like that. All right, so another thing that we have for both managers and teachers is the Google Classroom, where we'll be keeping most of our records. And so in this process, you guys will be creating a time collection sheet. This is going to be basically the same time collection sheet that we normally use, and it will look something like this. Please, please, please make sure that you are recording your hours every time that you teach. We don't want to wait to the last day of the summer camp to calculate your hours, because once again, like you might find in a normal class, you might forget how long you stayed because maybe you stayed behind a little bit to help out with setting up for the next block or something like that. So please make sure to fill this out as soon as the class is over. And also you might see in here, there is two sections. There's a duration and a preparation / curriculum time. The duration is the actual time you spend in class. So that'll be 40 to 60 minutes. And the preparation time is how much time you spend preparing for that class, like your curriculum filled with your icebreakers, vocab, and etc. And usually we allow up to 60 minutes for this, but we understand that in the summer camp, it might be a little more formal and you might want to put in a little bit more effort into your work. So we will allow maybe up to 120 minutes, depending on how well your curriculum is made. And to assess that, we will be requiring you to put in your curriculum and slides / any notes you have in the section. We also had a lot of questions on the coordinator initial sections. This isn't something you have to worry about. It is just during your PVSA application and during when you want your SSL hours to be collected, we will be just initialing off all of them through this section. Additionally, you might see student name number 1 to 4. It would be helpful if you guys can keep track of your student names, but since this might be like more in person, you guys won't be able to have like a participants list of all of these, so it might not be that convenient for you guys to fill this part out. But yeah, once again, please, please, please make sure you are filling this out as soon as possible and as frequently as possible. And also make sure that you share this with us so that we can, 1, verify your hours, and 2, check in on you. So how you'll do that is you'll click the share button and you want to make sure it's general access to anyone with a link. You don't have to put it as anyone on the internet can view, but you can put it as anyone who has the link can view. And then after this, you will, I think, share it to the Google Classroom or share it with us personally so that we can make sure that we keep you guys on track. And yeah, all these hours are going towards your Presidential Volunteer Service Award, starting from today all the way up to June 30th of next year. However, as we've seen this year, there has been a lot of people submitting really, really late, right at the point of the deadline, and we do not want to have that next year. Next year, the PVSA committee will be establishing strict deadlines. And although we know that we might have some external circumstances and stuff like that, we will be very harsh on those deadlines, and so that we can get everything in on time and that we are not rushing. So we really hope that you guys can get these hours early on during summer when we have a lot more time to do this, and that when we do need to get out this Presidential Service Award, that you guys can just chill, stay back, and know that you got all your hours and not have to rush in and make up, like come in every single day, stay back every single day, make a ton of curriculum just to receive this award. And once again, we'll be providing you with this document that will have more instructions. So if you guys need a quick refresher on any of this, you guys can look back here. For the sake of time, I won't be going through the entire PVSA certificate eligibility and requirements. However, they can be found on the PVSA website, and they do have detailed instructions on how to do that. And later on, we'll be providing you the Zoom information and password for your classes. And please save those somewhere. We don't want to find out last minute that a teacher can't join their class or anything, or they don't have camera access with their computer. So make sure you test out all these things beforehand. Make sure you get on a computer with camera access. Make sure that if you have bad internet, you're sitting in maybe a good area of your house where you're closer to the Wi-Fi router. Make sure that you are in a room of your house that is clean and that is like professional. Make sure you're dressing up professionally. This is going to be like a normal class where teachers are expected to behave like professionally, even though you guys might be youth teachers. You guys will be setting an example for these GK to G3 students. So it's really important to make sure that you guys are acting properly and that you guys are being very professional about this. And once again, to hone this in, cameras should be on at all times to foster participation. And also it's important so that people can see how you're pronouncing the words. These are, once again, GK to G3 students who might need to see how words are pronounced, how their mouth should be moving, how their hands should be moving, and stuff like that. So I know this was just a bunch of information I threw at you. We will be providing all the links to some of these instructions. And also there is going to be a way for you guys to contact us, and we'll be sharing out our contact information with you guys so that if you find yourself stuck somewhere, if you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email, shoot us a text, and we will try to respond right away. So yeah, those are the basic instructions on the summer camp. And oh, one last thing. So I was throwing in a lot of this, oh, it's in person and stuff like that. So once again, to clarify, this in-person aspect doesn't mean that you guys have to be in person. So how this would work is it's basically like a hybrid model. You guys might have experienced this when you were during COVID, when you guys had to go into your actual classes. So how this will work is the students will be in this Philly summer camp in person, and you guys will be on your screens virtually. And I think this will be projected onto a big board where all these students can see. So you guys don't have to worry about going to the summer camp in person. Just have to teach normally, but your students might be in person, and you can incorporate stuff that they might enjoy while being in person and that experience. And yeah, so this experience is going to be pretty similar to how our normal classes are, but also this in-person aspect will provide you with a lot of experience on teaching in the real world. And it's just such a great opportunity for that, and such a great opportunity to also get extra SSL and also meet other teachers from other branches. So we are actually going to have all our branches participate in this effort. So we are hoping to have a lot of teachers from a lot of different areas all across the US and anywhere else that a youth teacher might be. So this is really a great networking opportunity as well, where you can meet different teachers, see how they teach their classes, and get together and maybe even see people that you're familiar with, and work together as a team to make sure that this summer camp is successful. And this is, once again, as a summer camp that you guys are helping to host and you guys are helping to teach. It's a great thing to write on your resume. It's a great thing to mention if you need a recommendation letter from Sandra or anyone higher up, that you had this experience teaching in this hybrid model, and you had this experience connecting with all the youth teachers and managers from across all our branches. So yeah, this is a great opportunity. And thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble on about it. And I hope you guys learned more about what the summer camp really is going to entail and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much.